Hey, welcome back to Daughters of the King. I'm Kathryn Gore. Thank you for joining me tonight. Tonight I want to talk to you about us having to go through lessons the hard way. Okay. What does this mean? This means that many of us have been encouraged by others who have given us the correct wisdom, but we don't want to receive it. And this is what I'm going to talk about tonight. I've been there several different times. I know this is not foreign to many of you, so let's talk about this. I titled it Lesson Learned, and I said, how many of you agree that we learn lessons the hard way? We just do. Why is it so hard? We put ourselves in certain situations and we'll say, I'll never do that again, but somehow, and I don't know why, because you know what? We fall for the trap. We don't receive wisdom from others who really care about us, and then we just sit in our mess and we're super uncomfortable, but yet when we're pulled out later on down the line or right after that, we fall right back into entertaining the same thought that we know we just got out of, that we know doesn't mean us any good. Why do we do that? Tell you, we already know we are running the risk of repeating history that didn't play to our favor. So why do we consider it? We'll even conjure up a thought, in our mind to compromise what we already know is not right. We'll say something like, well, maybe it's different this time. Maybe now is the time. Maybe I need to look at this situation differently than the last time. And I'm gonna tell you, sometimes it works this way and sometimes it doesn't. A lot of times it really does not. What we've tried, it just isn't, it's not meant for us, so to speak. It's just not a smart move. So why do we do this? I can tell you why. The desires of our heart leads us astray. That's the truth. The desires of our heart leads us astray. We think we have it figured out, right? Because we see something, it makes sense to us. We may even be confused, but that desire is so strong that we end up seeing something that is somewhat maybe a fantasy, something that's just not real. Okay? Reality does not hit. All right, and we end up being victims of our own circumstances, so to speak. Okay, now Jeremiah 17:9 says, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately sick. Who can understand it? Only the Spirit of God. Only God Himself. Only Jesus Christ can understand what is in your heart. We deceive ourselves so many different times. Oh my, we deceive ourselves so many different times. And by the time it's over and done with, you're either embarrassed, you feel dumb, you feel stupid, you feel like a fool. But yet, same scenario, just a different person, slightly different situation, And this week I had an experience that I knew would take place. I knew it was going to happen eventually. I didn't know it was going to happen this week, but I knew it was going to take place. So, I wasn't surprised about how the situation went down, but there were other parts to the piece. There were other pieces to this whole situation that I don't think I was prepared for as a friend. Let me say that. And it's just crazy how things go. What do you do though? What do you do when you see a trap set for someone? I've been here. I've been the person who the trap was wide open, and I walked my little self right to that trap, and shoo, it caught me. What do you do for when you're on the other end and you now see the trap because you've been through so many different things? You now receive wisdom. What do you do when you try to encourage a person to say, this isn't looking good. I really think you should try something differently. And then that person says, I don't really care about what you're saying. I'm going to do my thing, and that's not what really went down, but that's pretty much what took place. I had to help a friend walk out a very hard place this week, and my heart went out to her because I saw this trap from a mile away, and God revealed some things to me, and I tried to explain to my friend, what I heard. I want the best for everybody, so if God gives you the best, I'm going to be right there with you, rejoicing, shouting, hey, God is good, all of that wonderful stuff. But if God shows me something different, and my spirit man is like off the chart with no, I'm not going to congratulate you, so to speak, in a sincere way. I may eventually say, okay, this is what you want to do. I'm going to be there for you no matter what, and this is what happens. You encourage a person, but you also know how it's going to turn out, just because you get insight from God, the Holy Spirit, and then you brace yourself for the end. You try to prepare for picking your friend up off the ground and carrying her to the next level, or him to the next level, whatever the case may be. And that's a hard place to be for the person who thought they had it all together. Like I said, I've been there before, and to see them get hurt in a severe way and have circumstances that kind of hits all together because they went in the wrong direction, it kind of really takes a person off course, right? Because in their mind, they see this beautiful picture. Everybody else sees it for what it is, and it's hard for that person to see reality. So what does this mean? We learn the hard way. After you share your heart, based off of what God has shown you, and God has released you to say what God wants them to know, if they don't receive it, you just have to say, okay. You just have to accept the fact where they are, and you have to be a good friend and just listen and try to encourage the best that you know how. Here's where it hurts though, because when a person doesn't want to accept responsibility for their own actions, it can get a little tricky. It can get a little tricky. I remember being caught up in many different situations, and I remember my facial expressions I was just dumbfounded. I was embarrassed. I was just like speechless, because I really didn't see it going that way. But you know what's crazy? Here's what happens, y'all. We act like God doesn't warn us before somebody else has to come and talk to us and say, don't do this. I was listening to my friend, and she was just talking to me about how she felt and what she saw. And I remember telling her, I don't have to tell you the truth because you feel what you feel yourself, and I said, I want you to understand, what you're supposed to do. But it's up to you. And that person was like, well, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I said, why? You're going to get hurt. And that's what happened. We learn our lessons the hard way. So, here's what happens, okay? We come to a point in our lives where we've tried it all. You know, we go off, we think we know what's best for us, we think that we understand life, we think that everybody who comes and speaks to us is telling us the truth, that they really care, okay? And it could be a devil. It could be a plan from the enemy, all right? And we get ourselves messed up because we really want to believe that we're so important to other people. We really want to believe that we're loved, that we're special. We really want to believe that people are good people, right? I always tell you that I look, for the most part, I try to look at the good in people. I really do. But sometimes it's just so much darkness that comes around me that I just can't. It's just like, I feel it. Something not right with you. That devil is real inside of you. And I can't get past it until that devil goes back to the pit where it belongs. I know that sounds funny, but you know, I'm with a deliverance church, so those are phrases for deliverance. But you know, many people need to get delivered. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It ain't nothing wrong with that, okay? I've been there, and it's the best thing that could have happened to me, because I'm gonna tell you, God is real. He knows what's inside of you. He knows why our hearts are drawn to darkness. And a lot of times we don't even have much to do with it. It was planted inside of us from a little child. Something trauma or something has happened to us that entered inside of our vessel, our eyes, whatever. And we get a little messed up behind that. You know, life is hard. Life is hard. So, you know, we fall for what we think is right. But come to find out, we a little messed up. We are a little messed up, and we need to recognize this, okay? So we come to a point in our lives where we've tried it all and nothing works, okay? We hit a brick wall and we wonder why we can't have a breakthrough in certain areas of our lives. This is when, I want y'all to listen to this, all right? When we've tried it all, nothing happens. We've become to the point where we know that we know there's nothing else we could do. What should we do at that point? Really, what should we do from the very beginning? But we come to a place where, many of us do anyway, where we realize we can't do this anymore, okay? This is where you cry out to God and you let God have the wheel. You don't need to be a driver. You don't need to be a driver. You need to be a passenger. Okay? You can even sit in the back seat. I don't even really care. Just let God take the wheel, because you done tried all of your little schemes, all of your little thoughts of how situations are going to go, and they backfired on you. And that lets you know either God is protecting you, or it's just not meant, okay? It's so many different reasons why certain things happen. It may not just be the time, you know, whatever the case may be. But I found that God is just protecting you, all right? And we get upset with God when this happens. It's so crazy, right? It's so crazy how we treat God, and God just wants the best for us. So, you know, here's the good thing, y'all. I thank God for his goodness and his strength that he gives us as we walk out what we have allowed to come in our own lives, okay? God knows our desires can be twisted. All right. Many people think that perversion is a type of word for a sexual, ungodly encounter, something like that. But perversion, the root word for perversion is twisted. Okay? So, what did I just say? God knows, okay, that our desires can be twisted, which is another word for perverted. All right. But yet, here's the goodness of the Lord. I talked to you about that last week. I told y'all that some things happen in our lives, and that doesn't mean that the goodness of the Lord is not real. It doesn't mean that this takes away anything from God. Okay? Why am I saying this? Because God still comes and he covers us in our stupidity, all right, in our own mind, in our own self, in our own selfish little ways. Okay? He comes, he covers us. We can fuss, we can cuss God out. And I'm saying cuss because recently I've been hearing this lately. I mean, people just don't like what God is blocking them from. And it's a horrible thing, because if you trust God, you will know that God wants the best for you. I'm telling you, when I stopped wrestling with God, that's when my life got easier. I'm telling you, I will not lie to you. There's no reason for me to lie. First of all, I have the fear of the Lord, okay? Second of all, I'm a transparent person. I will not tell you something that it's just not on the up and up. All right. My life changed for the better. Did warfare increase? You bet it did. But there was a peace on the inside of me that said, I know who I belong to. I know who my Father is. And I'm telling you, that peace grew and grew and grew. And it brought confidence. It brought strength. It brought knowledge and revelation of who I am to my Father. I just stopped wrestling with God. You get tired, right? Sometimes we need to wave our white flag. Just wave it. If I had a white flag, I would right now. Okay, this is a piece of paper. Just wave the white flag. Just wave it, y'all. Surrender. Just surrender. Why am I telling y'all this? For one, God has his best for your life. For two, he knows that we'll mess ourselves up. All right, we will settle for second best. I've done that all my life, and God still tells me, I just want the best for you. Don't settle, don't settle. I'm like, oh, I want something right now. Okay, I want something right now. And I'm like, oh, this is okay. I could work with this. I could work with this. But God is like, no, I want the best for you. And I'm like, okay. If it means I have to wait a little bit longer, I get it. But this is what happens. We get anxious. And then we take things into our own hands. And the enemy knows our triggers. He knows our desires just as much as God does. He doesn't know everything. But I'm telling you, he has a lot of his angels, dark angels, in the spirit realm that comes to watch over you. They study you. Y'all better listen to what I'm telling y'all. How do you think the enemy comes and attacks you in the way that he does? Because he's not omnipresent. He's not. I read a book years ago, and I want to say it was The Final Quest or something from Mary Kay Baxter about demons. I can't remember, but in one of those books, either one of them, it gave a clear description, and I'm telling you, these books are so anointed, of how the dark angels, they send out their little imps, IMPs, to study you. And then they go back and report to Satan what you do. I'm going to tell you this. Everything that Satan does, he copies off of God. So just like God releases his holy angels to watch over you, these dark angels watch over you too, but they watch over you in a bad way. All right, they study you to harass you. All right, to get insight and information on what goes on in your life, so they can stir up some stuff in your life for you to fall. Okay, I'm being dead serious. So this is why we need to draw close to God, because we need to have so much discernment. We need to be long suffering sometimes and just know that God is with us. Okay. Now, our lessons, okay, won't have to be so hard after we submit to the perfect will of God. How do we do this? I just said this earlier. I said we wave the white flag and surrender ourselves to the Lord. All right. Sometimes, it's hard to do that, but guess what? You put one foot to the front and God will help you along the way. You don't have to do it by yourself. Okay. God works with you because he loves you so much. He knows exactly what is going to draw you closer. He knows your emotions, what's inside of you, and all of this. Okay. So he knows how to draw you unto himself. All right. Now, God knows everything about us. Okay. He knows what will make us happy or sad. What will we get out of the being excited. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. What will get us excited? I can't even read my own typing, y'all. Or what will puzzle us? Okay, I get puzzled a lot, y'all. It's not funny. I do, and I'm like, interesting, So this is where I always come back, and I'm like, God, da 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 da. But overall, okay, here's what I want you to understand. Overall, we can trust that God knows us from the inside out and that he wants the very best for us. He really does. The problem is we don't want the very best for ourselves. That's the problem. We want what we want and we don't count the cost, okay? We don't count the cost. I was dealing with a situation this week and it turned into a disaster. It wasn't my situation, but the situation as a whole turned into a disaster. And I just felt so bad for this particular person. And I really feel in my spirit that it had to happen to get their attention. It had to happen for them to humble themselves. And I'm telling y'all, we don't want God to humble us, because he chastens those who he loves. But if he has to humble us, I'm telling you, we're going to be in trouble. Pride is a big issue. And a lot of us don't understand that we carry pride. A lot of us don't understand that we're walking in pride and we think we know it all. We think we know better than God. And I'm telling you, we get ourselves in trouble every single time. So when God has to bring you low, you're going to know it. You're going to feel it. And I'm telling you, a lot of times he won't let you get up until you understand you can't continue to live life like this. You can't. Something is going to have to change. And it's really up to us to come in agreement with God, meaning we can walk around this mountain as long as we want to, okay? We can do it quickly, or we can wrestle with God and fight God, and God always wins. He always wins. I love it. He always wins. So, a lesson learned can be positive or negative, okay? For some, it only takes one time, okay? Those people feel it, they know it, and they don't act in a foolish way in that area of their life anymore. They're like, no, oh no, I'm not going to do that. And they mean it, okay? But for others like myself, how I used to be, oh, yeah, no, yeah. We travel around that same mountain over and over until one day we finally get it. We miss it a few different times at first, but then we finally get it. And when we finally get it, that's when we said, we've had enough. It's not worth it. We will never, ever go back to that situation again. And we really do mean it at that point. We really do. Now, are you traveling around the same mountain over and over again? If so, why? Why? Have you not trusted God to give you the very best? Is it bothering you that you don't have what you think you want right now? It's very possible. All right. Let's learn from these hard lessons. Okay, let's learn from them. Let's learn from them. Let's face them head on and move on. Never to revisit again. Carrying that experience close with wisdom going forward. Knowing that's not good. Okay, it ain't good. It probably will never be good. I need to change something in here. Okay. God has something greater for us, y'all, ladies. He really does. He really does. Many of us settle. Oh gosh, many of us settle. Many of us settle because we don't know the worth. We don't know our worth. Why? Because the enemy has done a good job on tearing us apart, you know, making us feel like secondhand citizens. Making us feel like we're unlovely, we're unattractive, we are, you know, overweight, we have the wrong skin color, whatever the case may be, y'all. It's just a lot that the enemy plays with in the mind, okay? And we need to come out of agreement with that, because I'm going to tell you, when God looks at us, oh my, I told y'all, I don't know if I shared this with y'all or not, but I told y'all, hopefully, that God gave me an experience where he opened up my understanding when I was holding my grandbaby. I was swinging her back and forth, and I was looking at her, right? And God opened up my spiritual eyes to see the joy and the contentment that she had on her face, as she had one little hand in her mouth and her other hand was dangling down, swinging, and she was letting a little wind blow over her as I was holding her and carrying her. And God let me see, this is the heart that he has for his children. And it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. Y'all, when I tell you that God really loves us and he looks at us as the apple of his eye, we're the prettiest thing walking. I'm telling you, in God's eyes, we are beautiful. And it's just so amazing because he gets so much joy in fathering us. Oh, it was so, I pray that that experience does not ever lift from out of my spirit, because it was so beautiful, and I can't even share it with you the way that he was showing me. But you know what he showed me? He put an understanding in my spirit. Think of you being a mother, right? You love your child with all of your heart. You see that your child looks like you. You see the beauty in the child, you know, or you just see what you see. The child is perfect in your eyes, right? And then that child grows and grows, and for some strange reason the child doesn't want to be bothered with anymore. You know, you showed the child so much love. You've given the child everything that they need to survive. But it comes a time in their life where they turn their back on you. and you didn't do anything wrong. You loved them more and more each day as they got older, and then for some strange reason, they don't love you as much as you love them anymore. Sad. That's sad. And this is what I was picking up in my spirit when God was showing me. I was, holding my grandbaby, and I said, God, we break your heart all the time, don't we? Because he gets so much joy from us. And it's a sad thing because he just wants the best for us. He wants a relationship with us. And I'm guilty myself. I really should be spending more and more and more and more time with God. And the enemies come and put so many distractions before me. And I kind of fall for the distractions. And I'm like, I don't even know why God still gives his love to me, but he does, and he does the same thing for you. So I'm telling y'all, when you have a mother's heart, when you have a father's heart, you weep. You do. You cry for your children. It's the same thing for God, because we are his children. We are his children. He cares, he loves, he waits, he's long suffering. My God, he's patient. I don't even understand, when he looks at us, he doesn't see what we see. He looks at the finished product. I'm telling you, it's just, we need to get things together up in here. All right, up in here, we really do. So y'all, be safe, be blessed. This week is a Christian t-shirt meeting out to Legislative Hall, I don't know. It's in Dover, right where they used to have the March for Jesus at, and I think it starts at 10 a.m. to 3. I probably won't be there. I probably will be with my father, my dad, but I hope y'all come out and be blessed. Have a good time. I believe the IHOP ministry, who is David Mormon and his wife Kelly Mormon, are sponsoring this. So be blessed, y'all. Go out, see what's going on, and see the goodness of the Lord. All right. So y'all be good. Have a safe weekend. It's supposed to be very warm, so don't cut up too much, y'all. It's not worth it. All right. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching Daughters of the King. We appreciate your support. You can reach me at www.dotking.org. That's www.dotking.org. You can subscribe or send a message through live chat, or you can send an email to Kathryn, Kathryn, at dotking.org. This ministry is designed to speak to your heart. Feel free to share your thoughts about the message or give insight on a topic that you would like for me to discuss. We are here for you.